Hello, welcome back to my channel. My name is Eva and this is all about motherhood, lifestyle, homemaking, all this kind of stuff. My channel definitely has a lot of use for you. So if you are new, please consider subscribing, of course, after you listen to me first, because I don't want just empty subscribers. I want you to be here because you find my content helpful to you. And today I am coming with a very excited video that I kind of delayed for maybe a little bit too long, and it's about my birth story. So I delivered my baby boy who is sleeping upstairs, that's why he's not here, at 37 weeks and 5 days. I was vlogging the entire 7 weeks, so from 30 weeks to 37 weeks there were weekly updates, how I'm doing, all of that, what I'm doing, right? Homesteading, homemaking, all of that. And my 37th week was unexpected. The last week I honestly thought I would go a little bit longer, so I'm kind of try to wrap up for you the whole story so it's easy to understand. So all my births are unmedicated, and it's not that I'm bragging about it, but I am proud of this. Okay, I am very proud that I did not use epidural or any pain meds in all my formats. The first one I used the gas, and that was the worst mistake of my life because it simply made me a little bit high, so I didn't like it, but the rest was unmedicated. My daughter disturbed me. Where was I? I was saying that I had no epidural, just gas that make me high, right? Yeah, so that's what happened. So with baby number 4, also all my births are really fast. So the first one was 6 hours, the second one was induced and it was 1 hour, and the third one was 2 hours. And all of them started the same way, by breaking my water, either way naturally or with the second by the doctor breaking my water. So this time around I wanted kind of the same story. Okay, I was really worried that I'm not gonna make it to the hospital, like, because I live 20 minutes away. My parents-in-law that have to take care of my kids, they live 2 hours away, so it takes time. Okay, and if I went into spontaneous labor at night, I may not have enough time to get ready and go to the hospital. And the last thing I wanted is to give birth in the car and stuff like that. I had a little bit of trouble to deliver my placenta last time, so it would be best not to be in this kind of situation. Okay, so I really wanted to be induced, but of course they didn't want to do it until 39 weeks pregnant, which is totally understandable, right? You don't want baby to come too early. You want it to cook until 39 week, even 37, 38 week. It's considered early preterm, so they always advise to wait as long as possible with inductions. So I was a little bit like pumped about that. So anyway, so that was that. So at 37 weeks and 5 days, I had a regular doctor appointment with my OB at the hospital. That's where they have their, place. I went in, I was filming, I was vlogging in the morning in the car, saying that it's probably going to be a regular appointment, in and out, 5 minutes. I had my toddler in the car, I was driving with him, and I was also saying, I think I was saying, as far as I remember, was complaining about that induction, that I am worried about that all. So I got in, and they checked my blood pressure, and it was 160/90, so it's definitely high. And prior to that, okay, I have to go back a little bit. At 36 weeks and 5 days, I was 1 centimeter dilated. The baby's head was already in my pelvis. Very low. Actually, when they were checking my belly, they didn't feel the head. They thought the baby's maybe breech or some other position, and they went in and they touched the head. I think they touched the head. Do they touch the head with the cervical check? I don't know. Anyway, they say that the head is like there. Okay, so they checked me at 37 weeks and 5 days. I was already 2 to 3 centimeters dilated, and the head was obviously still there. I don't know how thick my cervix was. I know that it was facing the other way, not forward but the other way still, and that's it. So anyway, the doctor was a little bit concerned, and here's the situation with the hospital. I live in the middle of nowhere. The hospital is very small. They have OBs over there, but they don't perform C-sections, and I also don't know how does it work. I think they have to transfer you to a bigger hospital, which is a little bit scary if you have emergency C-section. Like, I would not want to be in that situation, because like honestly, like, what do you do? But yeah, so they don't have it, and if there's only surgeon once in a while, like every 10 days or so, and he was there that day, and then he would leave the next day and come back in 10 days. So the OB, he said that he can put me on medication. The preeclampsia, you know, will probably develop, but he was hoping that the medication would work, and stuff like that. And he was also calling around the hospital if they can induce me that week. So that was Monday, so you know, that week, but maybe not at that particular day when I was there. But non-hospital had room for me, so he gave me an option. Do you want put me on medication and send me home and go into natural labor on my own, or do I want stay and get induced? So I chose the road of being induced, and that's how I stayed. I came for like a visit and I stayed. Anyway, they I had to call my husband, I had to call my mother-in-law to come quickly. So, and I had my toddler with me. Also, they put me on that non-stress machine, and I had my toddler here, and I was like stuck to that machine. It wasn't a good time, let me tell you. It was not. So the plan was to put me on Pitocin, but I really didn't want Pitocin because my water broke naturally and during the induction on its own, and I kind of knew how the things go. And I also hear that after the Pitocin, the contractions, Pitocin won't say right, that drag to speed up things. I think so. If I'm wrong, I'm sorry, but you know what I'm saying, right? If you're here, you probably know. So yeah, and I was just so scared of it because I also hear that the contractions are stronger, and again, I did not want epidural or any pain management. So I wanted my water to be broken, and so sometimes you can have your water broken if the baby is too high up. It can complicate to your your cord falling off, and then it's emergency C-section. So anyway, and with my situation, you know, as I mentioned, my cervix was still facing backward instead of onward, so they weren't sure if they can stick that device and break my water. But long story short, it did happen. They did break my water, then they put my IV in, and at that point was waiting time, right? So here is my birth story. It starts basically here. My contractions started almost immediately. They were 40 seconds and like 1 minute apart. They were saying they are not long enough, that they should be no longer. But about an hour, you know, walking like that and joking with the nurse, they were very sweet. There was also like a bathtub in the room that I did not use, but it was nice option that they even had it in that small hospital. Anyway, I was working the entire labor. I did not stop even for a second. And about after an hour, the contractions get really strong, and I know my bodies, okay? I know my body. So around 7 centimeters dilated. I know where I am there, because that's where things get crazy and the contractions getting very strong and on top of each other, like literally on top of each other, okay, one after another, which is crazy. It's so painful. That's when I have to really breathe through and try really hard to focus, and at the very end, they wanted to check me. That's why when I was like about 9 centimeters, when they checked me, that's when it was a true hardcore. But I was doing my best to just breathe and don't panic, okay? Do not panic. It's just focus. The whole world stops doing the contractions. I am absolutely in my mind, in my head. I'm like, you know, like kind of like playing, you know, and it's just amazing. And soon enough I felt the urge to push, so I told the nurse that I have to push. They called the doctor, and I was right. I was 10 centimeters, and it was time to push. So I don't know, like 2-3 pushes, and my baby boy was out. So I do have really easy labors. In total, that labor was under 2 hours, because I was induced at 5:50 and he came 7:33, so really fast. Again, I am so grateful that it was that I could experience that once again. It's not that I am enjoying it by any means, but yes, that labor was just good. It was positive. It was really positive induction. And I am really grateful to the doctors that they were listening to me. They wanted to put me on the pitocin. I didn't ended up having an IV. Like, they did put it in, but they didn't put any, medications in. So it wasn't even needed, but that's fine, just in case if things went wrong, it's better to have that IV. And yeah, like, the doctor listened to me. I am so grateful for that he even attempt to break my waters, like he took under considerations that that's how my body works, that my body works by break my water first and then progressing with the labor. Like, I don't have contractions before. Actually, when I was on this machine, when they monitor the baby, they say that I have contractions, that I felt like period cramps, but they were quite high labor like contractions. So I think I went to a spontaneous labor like maybe a day or two after, but I'm glad I was at the hospital and that everything finished the way it finished. So yeah, now I have my baby, and this is my birth story, my positive birth story. I don't want it to be too long, so maybe I will stop talking right here. Let me know in the comments what you want to know, and I will answer. So mosquitoes flying around me. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed today's video in this beautiful garden, and I hope I will see you in my next video. Bye guys.